Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, Chancellor, Deputy Mayor, Vice Rector. Thank you. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you this morning to the third biannual conference on sustainable AI hosted by the Bonn Sustainable AI Lab. So welcome to Bonn for those of you who are here for the first time, and welcome back to Bonn for those of you who are coming back to your old place of study or where you're currently studying now. So this gathering for me represents a shared milestone in a journey that began for me about 5 years ago with a simple yet a powerful vision, or at least in my opinion, a vision of how we can incorporate the value and the principle of sustainability into the development, deployment, and disposal of artificial intelligence, both the technology and understood as the infrastructure of AI. This year, I'm particularly excited for several reasons. First, it's inspiring, really inspiring, to see the seeds of ideas that were planted in the last conference and also in our lab launch years ago. To see these seeds of ideas that were planted in the early days of sustainable AI, how they've continued to grow and flourish, and how people want them to continue even after this. I had a wonderful conversation just in the coffee break thinking, what are we going to do for the next conference? What happens in the next couple of years? It's very heartwarming to hear and to know that the enthusiasm is felt not just by myself, but by others. Speaking of myself, I just rushed into this. I'm Professor Dr. Aimee van Wynsberghe. Whew, there's so many last minute things, but anyway, I'm Professor Dr. Aimee van Wynsberghe, Director of the Institute for Science and Ethics here at the University of Bonn and founder of the Bonn Sustainable AI Lab. So, the seeds of the ideas that were planted, what once felt like a small, emerging conversation, has now become a thriving and dynamic field with innovative research, impactful projects, and ambitious goals. Together, we're shaping a narrative of AI's future, one that embeds sustainability at its very core. We're ensuring that sustainability and ethics of AI is not just an afterthought in terms of AI development, but is something that is accompanying the development of AI and its infrastructure. Second, I'm so heartened to see this community grow and thrive. As I look around, I see familiar faces, and I also see new faces, which is really wonderful. New members that are joining us for the first time. We have about 120 people who are joining us in person, over 200 people that are joining us online, and people coming from 23 different countries. So it's really quite impressive from my perspective. This diversity of perspectives, experiences, and expertise enriches our discussions, and it reminds us that sustainability in AI is really a global endeavor, not something that just here at the University of Bonn we can achieve on our own, but that we need this global community to take part. It requires all of us working hand in hand to achieve this meaningful purpose. Finally, what excites me most about this year's conference is the real and tangible possibility that the work that we discuss here will make its way into policy recommendations. The conversations we have over the next days, the papers we present, the debates that we have, the conversations that we engage in, we have the power to actually influence decisions that are happening on a policy level. This is a moment where our collective efforts can create ripple effects, shaping not only the future of AI, but also the future of the planet. And I say this because currently myself and Lynn Kack, Lynn, yeah, thank you. Currently, myself and Lynn serve as experts on one of the expert committees for German federal ministry. So we're actually at this level of having conversations that can influence policymakers. And we'll be in Brussels in November, where the European Commission is forming a coalition on sustainable AI. So different member states are looking at how they can work together to actually achieve sustainability in AI development, design, deployment, and disposal. So I mean it, it's really an exciting opportunity. If you had asked me 5 years ago if I thought this could happen, I would have said, not sure. And now it's so really so exciting. And I think that this work has never been more important than it is right now. All of us know here that the stakes are high. We know about the climate crisis that we're facing and that we're in a critical decade right now in terms of attacking the climate crisis. We also know that at the same time, we're witnessing a resurgence of climate denialism and the troubling spread of misinformation that seeks to undermine science, facts, progress. So this makes our mission even more urgent, I suggest. AI is a powerful tool. We know that. We also know that it's inherently not neutral. The infrastructure of AI, can really accelerate the damage caused by unsustainable practices, or it can serve as a force for good, helping us to find innovative solutions, optimize resource use, empower communities to make informed decisions. But the direction that AI takes depends on the choices that we make now and the principles that we embed into its design and deployment. This is why we are here. This is why this conference matters. Over the next few days, we're going to explore a wide range of topics, as you've seen from your programs. Topics from energy-efficient AI models to ethical frameworks, from community-led AI governance to the intersection of AI and climate justice. We have incredible keynote speakers from Germany, Australia, the US, Canada, Sweden, AI ethicists, computer scientists, engineers. We have power panels bringing together thought leaders in the space arguing in favor of AI as a solution or against AI as a solution. Multiple tracks and panels, a fireside chat with the wonderful Gry Hasselbach, thank you, on her new book, Human Power, 7 Traits for the Politics of the AI Machine Age. So I encourage each of you to engage deeply in these discussions, ask bold questions, and collaborate openly. This is not just a conference, in my opinion. It's a space for co-creation, for building solutions together, and for imagining a sustainable future powered by AI. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone who has made the effort to come here today, and to everyone who has made this event possible, our organizers, our speakers, our participants, our supporters, both in person and online. Your dedication to this cause is what drives this movement forward. And now I want to pass the stage over to some other incredibly important, distinguished guests that we have. In Germany, the culture is that you have others welcoming you to the city, welcoming you to the university. And so it is my great honor to have 2 very important individuals to do this for us today. So first, I'd like to welcome to the stage Professor Dr. Ilona Grunwald, who is the Vice Rector for Research and Career Development. And Professor Grunwald is head of the Institute for Physiology at the Faculty of Medicine, with a focus on the study of sensations and needs on individual behavior and decision-making, combining neuroscience and physiology. So not just a powerful Vice Rector, but also an incredibly well-distinguished academic. So please welcome to the stage. Thank you so much again for being here.
Oops. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I was just introduced, so I was going to do the same as you did. I always forget to introduce myself, but now I was just introduced, so I don't have to do it again. Thanks so much, Aimee, for your really kind words, and also for opening this wonderful conference. In the name of the Rectorate and also the Provost who is here, we'd like to welcome you to Bonn. We're very excited to have you here. I've heard that there are people from very many different nations. We have many distinguished keynote speakers. We have fantastic chairs of sessions. And of course, the most important, I think, is always the participants, because without the participants, no conference is really useful. So thanks again, everyone, for coming to Bonn. This is the 3rd time, and today we're going to talk about sustainable AI and its future. I think this is an incredibly important topic. I'll say a few words about this in a second, also from a very personal perspective. But before I say more about this topic, and I don't know so much about the topic because you just heard my topic is actually not artificial networks, it's biological neural networks. But of course we think about this a lot. What we're fascinated about, about the research of Aimee and her colleagues, and your interest in this conference, is that it's so cross and transdisciplinary. It is at the crossroads of so many fields, and this is exactly what we want at University of Bonn. That's what we're trying to foster at University of Bonn. And currently, we're thinking a lot about the future of this university. We're an excellence, or University of Excellence. We're very proud of this, and we have to reapply for the status in a few weeks. And because of that, we've been thinking about a lot how we want to make our university sustainable, and AI is, of course, a huge aspect in this. To foster this type of research, exactly what you're interested in. We have transdisciplinary research areas. We have 6 TRAs where we hope to bring scientists together that have very different trainings, educational backgrounds, global backgrounds, who come from all kinds of different experiences, but want to solve common and very important issues, such as how can we make AI usable in a way that it's good for us, that it's actually good not only for us, that it's good for our planet, that it's good for everyone, and that the cost benefit ratio really is such that we benefit from it. And I think that scares many of us, and I can tell you, I was going to say something personal. So my oldest son is studying computer science, but he's also now put in a couple of semesters of philosophy. And the reason is that he's, on the one hand, extremely interested in the opportunities of AI. On the other hand, he's also very scared. And I think he's scared, as many people of that generation are scared, as we are all scared. And I think this is exactly, we need to have these discussions, not only what is technologically possible, but what do we actually want? And what kind of rules do we need, such that we're not blocking opportunities? And this is a question of ethics. This is a question of possibilities of technology. And it's really a deep question that I think affects us all. Like what kind of globe, what kind of society do we want to be in a few years from now? And I think it's fantastic to see how things change so quickly. I think all of us are probably fascinated by the use of ChatGPT and others, who can help you so much. But at the same time, it's also very scary. We can only imagine, how quickly things have changed already in the last, 5 years, how they will continue in the future. I think your institute, your lab, and of course, everybody here at the conference, you're so important. You're going to, I'm very confident and very hopeful, deliver some really important answers to these types of issues. And these issues are, of course, not only ethical, they're also about energy. I mean, we know AI costs a lot of energy. They're about policy. And as you said, they're not just national or even regional, they're global. We need to work together at the European level, at the global level. And before I, finish, I would like to really once again thank, Aimee for making this possible, for bringing you all together, for all the people involved here to bring all of you together. I, of course, thank the University Club for providing this beautiful environment. I thank the city of Bonn for being such great partners in all our endeavors. I think this will be very interesting. I wish I could stay much longer. I will definitely listen to some of the talks online. And I hope I learn a lot. And I hope in a couple of years, there's the 4th conference comes to Bonn. So I'll be very interested to see what has been done during that time. And yeah, without any further ado, I again thank the chairs, the speakers, the participants. I wish you a most wonderful and most interesting conference. I wish you that you return back home with tons of ideas and also some possible solutions or attempts or, future ideas for solutions. And yeah, thanks again, and welcome to Bonn. Welcome to the University of Bonn. We're very glad to have you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Grunwald. And now for our next speaker to give some words of welcome, which it means so much to me to have the city of Bonn represented. When we launched the lab about 4 years ago, we had Mayor Katja Dorner, who was there to welcome the lab to the city. Of course, sustainability is at the heart of the values of the city, so it means so much. And last year, we also had Dr. Sautter here to give words of welcome to invite us. So it's my great honor and pleasure that you're back here again for this conference to welcome us. So please, the stage is yours as well. Dr. Sautter.
dear professors, excellencies, distinguished guests from all over the place, which I think is brilliant. Welcome to Bonn, a very international city that hosts about 170 different nationalities who I think peacefully and fruitfully work and live together. So welcome to this wonderful and slightly scary conference, because your title is Shaping Sustainable AI and Its Futures. So among these many possible scenarios, I'm sure there are some dystopian views, and I'm glad I'm not here to listen to them. I'll look at that online later on my sofa with a glass of red wine, because recently I'm not reading out this, it's too boring. Recently, for the first time ever, I used ChatGPT. I'm a journalist. I worked for Time magazine for 14 years. I abhorred ChatGPT. And then I used it. And I was gobsmacked because it's brilliant. And it saves a lot of time. At the same time, I was scared because I thought, I'm going to be superfluous in a couple of years. And also, I know how to handle these technologies and sources many people can't. So this is a most important conference because you bridge technological innovation, which in itself is neither good nor bad, with environmental stewardship. We all know how important that is, social responsibility, and the global imperative for sustainable development. Our city has long been intertwined with the UN. You may know that we now have 27 UN entities here in Bonn. The latest to join was UN Women. There is a certain exodus from New York to Europe. I don't know why, really, but it is. So we're happy to have a lot of sustainability-focused, SDG-focused entities here. It's a growing family. There's also a lot of research going on. We have a lot of NGOs that are non-UN, so I'm touting here. So if you want to come to Bonn to work, I think it's a good place to work, because here we also have the sort of the tie-in to technology. We host Deutsche Telekom and assorted research institutes in the field of cybersecurity. We have the cybersecurity cluster here. So I think you chose the right place to discuss the subject matter that you've chosen. We've tried to keep abreast with the developments here in Bonn. As early as 2019, Bonn adopted a comprehensive sustainability strategy aligned with the 2030 agenda. And it includes such things as the budget that reflects sustainability policies. We have a sustainability dashboard online, so the administration and people can have real-time data to guide their activities. We're sort of a pioneer in the digital realm. One of the leading cities when it comes to digital transformation. We have a way to go, let me tell you that, but we're better than some others, which is always great. Your conference comes at the right time, when the concept of sustainable AI becomes ever more important. I'm sure you can tell me how many trees in the Amazon are going to be felled when I use ChatGPT for a more complex search. Not that I usually do, but so we need to look into the applications, artificial intelligence, but we have to do it with human intelligence and human fate in mind. So this is what you're doing. We need a sustainable future, not only ecologically, but also when it comes to peace and security, which is something that is not really happening right now. Human rights. So thank you again for coming to Bonn. Thank you again for this conference. It's a great thing that it's going to be online later, because I'm sure I'm going to have a look at it. And if you have any time in between, check out the city. There's Beethoven House and other things. Just, saying. So thanks very much, Aimee, for this brilliant conference, and have a great time.
Actually, actually, just following up on that, there will be a city tour tomorrow after the conference. Rosalie is hosting a city tour, so for anyone who's interested. So yes, and tomorrow morning and Thursday morning, we're doing runs by the Rhine, 7 o'clock in the morning. So if anyone feels like joining us for a run, so we're trying to give people a larger perspective of the city as well. So again, thank you so much for being here to give us a welcome and to be here with your presence and to show the significance and importance of the conference for the university and for the city. And I'm going to get into some housekeeping things at the moment for the conference participants. So if you'd like, you are free to go about the the evaluations for the excellence cluster. And again, warm round of applause. Thank you. This is the moment. Okay, so I'm going to try. Oh, yes. Another thank you. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, without which I would not be here and we all wouldn't be here in this room together. And so the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation is the organization that funds my professorship, which brought me here to Germany from the Netherlands, and is also graciously providing the funding for this conference. So very large thank you to the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation. So I want to do some housekeeping things. I'm going to try and go back and forth between my notes. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit rigid when I have my notes, and then when I don't, I'm a bit more like open. So I'm trying, but I want to make sure that I remember everything that I have to say. So I want to do some housekeeping things. And I have a list of different things that have been prepared for me to say. So first, to let everyone know about your name tags. Everyone has a name tag, I assume. On the back, you have a QR code, which has the program. So you can go, and the program is changing on a daily basis because of people dropping out or new people joining us. So make sure that you check the program. The green programs are for the organizers, and the yellow or gold name tags are for speakers. So if you need any help with anything, look for a person with a green name tag. And I would like to note that they are made in paper, cardboard, no plastic. The lanyard has our Sustainable AI logo on it, and it can be reused for multiple purposes. Sophia has made posters that are posted in the foyer for all of the different kinds of things that you can do with them. Give me an example, Sophia, is one of the things that we could do with these lanyards when we're done to reuse and recycle.
Best use emergency tourniquet, I guess.
There you go, an emergency tourniquet. So thank you. So I should say we did have a lot of fun. Like, we spent a lot of time thinking about how we could make the conference as sustainable as possible, even down to details like what we could do with the lanyards afterwards. We also had a motto. So for me, swag and merchandise is really important when you go to a conference. What kind of things do you get at the conference? But we also wanted to have a more minimalist approach. You know, we all have like probably drawers full of name tags that we never use again, or the plastic books that we never see again. So we thought this time, minimalist. You all received a pen, I hope, and that pen, to note, is made from 50% wheat straw, and the brand is Green Giving. So yes, every detail we have considered. The notepads that you received, if you chose to take one or not, you can use them for the conference and beyond. These were excess notepads that the university didn't need anymore. They had ordered too many, so we are using them up for them. Yes, making sure that we have no waste, no disposal. All the food here, all the meals and drinks will include local and seasonal ingredients on a German and European level. There's a few items that are coming from farther away, like coffee and tea. They will all be fair trade, and all meals will be vegan. Again, going in line with our sustainability motto. There will also be no food waste. If there are any leftovers, a volunteer from the local city project is coming by. This is a project that serves people in need. They'll be coming by to pick up the food. And so these may sound like small things. Yes, someone is coming by to pick up the food, but I should say that it took a lot of preparation and organization to make sure that these things happen. Right. And so actually, with that in mind, I want to take this moment. So yes, I'm the one standing here welcoming, and we have other distinguished people welcoming us here to the conference. But of course, for anyone who's organized a conference before, you know that it's not just one person who's doing everything. There's a huge team who contributes to everything that happens and making sure that it happens incredibly smoothly. So I'd like my team to stand up, please. These are the people of the Bonn Sustainable AI Lab. Yes. And I should say we've been working on this, the preparations and the planning for a year, and there have been countless meetings where I actually in our last meeting made everyone go through the entire agenda hour by hour, who's going to be in what room and what is your responsibility and what you're doing. So thank you for putting up with me for the last year, and thank you for everything that you've done to make this happen. Okay. Okay, so you'll also note that we have banners located around. Please take a minute to have a look and check it out. It's all of the researchers from the Bonn Sustainable AI Lab showcasing the different work that they do, so you get to know their research a little bit more. Rules of engagement over the next 3 days. I'm Canadian. I'd like everyone to be very polite. Yeah, you don't have to be like Canadian polite, but let's try and get as close as we can. No offensive language, no insulting. Let's stick to. Yeah, we can, of course, ask debating questions. I want the debate. I like the debate, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't have to go into any more detail. We're all adults. Yeah. Okay, like I said, tomorrow and Thursday, we are doing running at 7 o'clock in the morning. Tom, can you wave your hand? Tom and I are going to be doing the runs. We meet here at the Uni Club at 7. And tomorrow after the conference, Rosalie, can you raise your hand? Rosalie is hosting a city tour to go throughout Bonn. And so the reason why we're doing this is I had the pleasure of going to a conference that was organized by Henrik Sautter in Norway. Is Enya here? See here, one of Henrik's researchers. Okay, he's coming later. Anyway, so Henrik, for those of you, you must know him. He's a guru in AI and sustainability. And we had this conference. We were out in the woods in Norway in a cabin, sleeping in bunk beds. It was really interesting. No computers. If you used your cell phone, you had to go to a different, isolated location. You couldn't use it in front of the other participants. It was an amazing experience. We're not quite going to do that here. Unless you want to. I mean, we could say no cell phones. But anyway, in that experience, we were encouraged to take walks on our lunch breaks and to sort of immerse ourselves in nature. And I loved it. And I was thinking how we could bring some of those things to this conference. And so that's why we're doing the runs in the morning and the city tour. And I've tried to encourage speakers not to use PowerPoint if they can, so that we can really engage in conversations. And we have the power panels on techno-solutionism. We'll have one panel today, one panel on Thursday. Again, no slides. It'll be our keynote speakers with some other invited guests. And it's a moment for us to talk with the experts, not to, not at, but with the experts, and to reflect on the things that we've been learning over the course of the conference. So those are some ideas, and shout out to Henrik for inspiring me with that. Please take this moment to put your cell phones to silent or do not disturb. Let's not have those awkward moments where someone's giving a keynote and we hear a phone going off. And this is very important at the conference. I don't know if you remember from last year, but whenever, Ooh, yeah, it won't be so loud. Yeah, classic. So whenever lunch is over, whenever we're about to start the sessions, myself or somebody else will be walking around ringing this bell. This is your notification. Get into the room. Session is starting. Okay, it's a polite way of doing that, I think. No? Okay, so with that, and I had some more words of thank you, and it's a great pleasure. I think you understand my sentiment. I'm so excited and happy that everyone is here, and I'm really looking forward to the next 3 days. And now, let's get started with our first keynote speaker. Please come up, Benedetta. I have your bio. I'm going to read.